Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk about how to detect if you are getting into a relationship with a narcissistic type. Watch this video. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. If you're new, please click the little subscribe button and the bell to receive notifications when I release new videos. And if you've been with me for a while, thank you so much and welcome back. Today I'm going to be talking about how to spot if this new relationship is actually a narcissistic relationship. And this is just coming off one of my sessions today where a client was talking to me about a new relationship and she didn't really know how to totally figure it out. And the first thing I want to say is everyone has a little bit of narcissism and codependency in them. That's just how we are conditioned in this society. It's just how we are brought up. It's good and it's healthy to have healthy narcissism, and we all want to be connected. But when those two things get too far on the pendulum, it's not so good, right? There's a sliding scale. So I want to talk about the feeling dimension. You can learn all you want to learn about the personality types or personality behaviors or things like this. So you know, oh, I know what narcissism is, or I know what this is, all these labels, right? But it's really about tapping into your inner guidance to guide you. When something doesn't feel on or correct, or you start to feel a little anxious, or you start to feel someone's walled up, or you start to feel like you might be being manipulated, like there's an attachment injury that comes up. A good example of that is when we're building new relationships, we need to build trust. It is number one. Trust and transparency are the two T's that are most important in building any relationship, right? But when you're getting into a new relationship with a narcissistic type person, let's say, they will play on that. So a lot of times you'll feel like you're having a deep conversation with them and it's not going anywhere. You almost feel like I call it the scanning. They're scanning you. You almost feel like you're talking and they're not receiving you. Like you look like a weirdo, or you know, they make you feel off in some way. They're doing the scan. They're listening to everything that you're willing to tell them emotionally, everything that you're willing to share with them vulnerably, everything that you're willing to share them about how you operate, so that they can later use that against you, control you, manipulate you, and get the power in the relationship. I know this sounds harsh, but it's important to note because a lot of people will get into relationships with these types of people who seem super charismatic, smart, who have a lot in common with you, who do everything, basically say everything right, but then you have to look at their actions. Are they really doing what they say, right? That's huge. They say all the things you've ever wanted to hear in your whole life, right? Because what is narcissism and codependency? It's like an addiction of type, right? It's like this addictive thing. And when we are healing and we're finding ourselves not attracting these people, but noticing them coming into your vortex. Listen, everyone is going to attract different types of people. It's not your fault if you attract this. It's just that you haven't learned the boundaries, discernment, or clarity around what it is you're actually attracting or what it is you're actually attracted to. So that's the first thing. Is the one thing we don't ever want to do is self-blame. And the reason a lot of narcissistic type people get away with blame shifting, gaslighting, is because those of you who are highly sensitive specifically are really used to feeling negatively, like someone did something, let's say the guy or the girl, that made you feel insecure and made you feel a little bit detached from self. And then you blame yourself for that behavior. Oh, well, if I did this different, he might not have done that. Or if I said this, maybe it's me. It's probably me. I did something wrong. If I'm perfect, then maybe they won't act like that. So I'm going to try to be different, mold myself around them, which is what they want you to do, and then they will behave differently. The first thing I want you to look at is, what would I do in their shoes? Would I ever do that? Would I ever not call what I'm saying I'm going to call? Would I ever say I'm somewhere and then I'm actually somewhere else because, oops, I actually went somewhere else and I forgot to tell you? Would I, good example, I'll call you when I get home tonight and then there's never any call? Would I do that? No, it's rude. I would say, hey, sorry, I can't fit in the call today, but we'll call tomorrow, right? You want to make someone feel securely attached. A narcissist's number one thing is to make you feel totally detached, to make you feel confused, insecure, all over the place. They want you to take that self-trust and they want rip it out so that you trust them instead. You put your trust in them. They do things in such a manipulative, undercover way where you can start to notice by how you're feeling. If you don't judge yourself, you'll just notice, I'm feeling this way because he actually said this and didn't do that. Or he actually looked at me that way and it felt weird. Or he actually is listening to me, but he's like not really into me. Whatever that is, right? You have to listen to what you're seeing and feeling. What they want to do is make you think that you are crazy for thinking that you're too needy, you're too clingy, you're too insecure, you have anxiety, maybe you should work on that. And most highly sensitive people are so internally focused on what's wrong with me and what can I fix that you naturally go there. Oh, they're right. Maybe I should change. Maybe I should work on this. What I want you to do instead is look at this behavior in a different way. They get to know you. They're scanning you. They know your likes, dislikes, your insecurities, your triggers, your passions, your vulnerabilities. They know all about you in a matter of days, probably weeks. And then they will play on those insecurities. Oh, you like it when I text you a few times a day? Well, I'll make sure I forget texting you all day long. And then you'll be like, oh, I don't want to be needy. And then you won't hear from them at all. And then you'll say, hey, I didn't hear from you. They're like, well, that's what you need to hear from me all the time? Uh-oh, I'm insecure, right? And then you start questioning yourself so that you start attaching to them instead of you. Oh, he's right. Okay, I'll listen to what he says. Oh, his opinion. Oh, what he does is right because I'm the one that has the problem. I'm insecure or I'm needy. Think about it. When you really look at both sides of the coin, I'm going to do another video on this later, but the codependent or the highly sensitive person that doesn't have strong boundaries is really looking for a mirror of their truth, where the narcissistic type person is looking for a mirror of their false self. So we're both looking for ourselves, but totally different ways. And so what happens is when the highly sensitive-ish person is looking for that positive mirror, they're seeing it with all these, over-the-top, charming things that the guy is doing or the girl is doing to you. And you're like, oh, see, I am good. And the other guy, the narcissistic type, girl or guy, is seeing the purity in you that they can't own, but you're making them feel better about themselves so they don't have to own their shame. So then they'll just project their shame and all the things that are wrong onto you. You're the one that's insecure. You're the one that's this. I'm going to take your goodness for me as the mirror that I need, and you're going to leave feeling a void inside. Think about it. Oftentimes, highly sensitive people who tend to be codependent, if you're one of these, you'll understand. We almost subconsciously tether ourselves to someone who is controlling and who won't allow us to be in our full power because we don't trust ourselves and we don't want to be in our full power. We're afraid of our light. And then when we start doing this inner work, we start to feel our power and realize that tether is more like a prison and the dynamics shift. So what I want you guys to do, if you think you're in a new relationship and you think it could be a narcissistic type thing, I want you to pay super attention to how you are feeling in the presence and start asking questions. Oh, when you feel them shut down emotionally, oh, you don't feel comfortable talking about that? And if they put it back on you, no, I am comfortable, but you're asking too many questions, or you're too needy or too whatever. Be like, oh, that's funny. I don't think that I'm needy, but it's interesting that you think that. We have to get really, really strong in who we are and how we are with ourselves so that we can detect these things and not judge ourselves for attracting them, but really empower ourselves to have the discernment to end it with a very strong boundary very soon. Now, these things are not going to get better as time goes on. They get much, much worse because what happens is your sense of self gets so picked at and prodded at that you start to almost become addicted to hearing from them, addicted to their acceptance of you, addicted. And what we really need to do is stop that attachment and start reconnecting to ourselves. One of the best things to heal this pattern is to get a life of your own that you're in love with, your own friends, your own career, your own home, your own whatever it is for you that defines you, that makes you feel safe within you so that you stop looking out there to make sure everything's okay. One of the things with codependency or highly sensitive people without boundaries is we've been trained to look externally to make sure everything's okay. The only way we're ever going to feel totally safe and secure is inside, by making sure I'm emotionally, physically, spiritually, and mentally good with me. If that's not the case, you are vulnerable to narcissistic attack. You are vulnerable to someone coming in and making you doubt a part of yourself that you already have doubt attached to. Just makes bigger, bigger, bigger. For you to really shift into the wounding. What we need to do is be around relationships, friendships or other, that are securely attached because the people are securely attached to themselves. That is the goal. The way we start attracting more of that is by becoming really securely attached to ourselves, getting real about how you feel so you can heal, having aligned actions in alignment with the truth of who you are, building a world with very secure and strong boundaries. Boundaries, boundaries, boundaries. I can't say it enough. I should build a course called Boundaries, because when we don't have boundaries, it's interesting. We give up our discernment and our clarity because of our lack of boundary. If we have a lack of boundary, we can't really see the reality of what we need. We kind of let things push to the side. We can't really see clearly because we're letting other people's definitions and ideas filter through our brain in the points that we like to blame ourselves, in the points that we like to doubt ourselves, in the points where we have like a crack in our self-trust. So if we really want to win this game of the narcissistic relationship, we need to get really solid in who we are and realize that we are capable of having everything that we need on our own and then share it with someone who is our match. So think about it, you guys. How am I feeling 1 week in, 2 weeks in, 3 months in? What's going on? Am I feeling stronger in who I am, or do I feel less strong? Do I feel more certain of what I want and feel, or do I feel more confused? Be the barometer. Check in with yourself. Go into nature. Anchor in who you are. Take all the self-doubt and the self-blame away for a minute and say, let me look at the reality here. Why am I feeling this way? What you're going to see is it makes sense that I feel this way. He's acting that way. She's doing this thing. This seems off. Trust what you're seeing to anchor and root into self. So I hope that was beneficial for you. Please be sure to check all the links below for announcements, coaching, all of the stuff, website, Instagram, all the things. Check it below. If you're looking for your tribe, please check out Truth Room Tribe. We meet every Friday morning for a live call, and I'd love to have you join us anywhere from around the world. I love you guys so much, and I will see you next week.